it was not good that man should be alone. This is the first time ever Nyame introduced the word not in the negative sense. Edebata, ni creation. It was not good that man should remain unmarried. It is a good thing. God considers it a good thing for his children to be in marriage. Topic na modi abase yesusu no me bomo abaso na maka se eye nneoma Ewurade opani bi ane no. As part of my introduction, I'm marking Genesis 2:18. Me pese me di ba ko bi nso so e ka ho na fe ye to ye ndwumedie no so on premarital counseling, and that is Proverbs chapter 18 and verse number 22. Proverbs 18 and verse number 22. So Ewurade asam kasa. Or see, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So you're done in one. You're done in the gender involved now. You better say, he who finds her. You better use so I can say, she who finds a husband. Now, Bible na kind of he who finds a wife, and may we add equally, she who finds a husband finds a good thing and obtains the commendation, the recommendation, the favor of the Lord. And it may decide to scripture see, may join it together. It means adophonum, our real idea, Namepe, Namepe, na esonini, na openesa. Into say Nyame penisa dia. And now young fan to us to say, you can't say a thing worth doing is worth well doing. A thing worth doing is worth well doing. Se bibi ye na esese ye dia. And that's a wo ya esese wo ye ni pa. And it say our rare idea a ye Nyame peneso ni creation fi onu onyankopon ankasa. Na wabo ama ye nipa say yan ware dia and ye ware dia na esese ye ware ne ye said you Nyame asam esifa etie. Having said all these things by way of introduction, say, for us Christians, we consider three ways CBR equally our. Now, of the three ways, emu baako and I am a level according to subject. Modi abetu menimi. There are three ways by which we adopt, three steps that we begin. The first step, your friend be dating, your friend be courtship, and your friend be the real marriage. Now, me pese ye kasa fa dating. Na Nyame ya adom na some other time maybe. Perhaps we can also consider courtship and then marriage, arranged marriage or whatever form of marriage. And in mention was say, and the premarital counseling. Me pese mre no me hwe mo ages as youngsters. Mo bi ma worry die. But it seems to me that say mududuo and then worry. And therefore, I will want us to focus more on the question of dating. Dating is meant for people who would not have anyone to choose a spouse for them. You share kind na the third one a arranged marriage. And therefore, dating is meant for people who do not want anyone to do the choice or the choosing for them. A self-effort approach to marriage. Me ampe say me di meni to form. Me bom mpaye na nyame mama kwankyere na me ami hu oba me pese me ware no. Enyo oba ye impose wo me so. Me me pese me di meni to form. Na me hu be ma metimi ne na atena. Me mpe be ma ye impose wo me so. Eno ne ye arranged marriage. Kind bibi abese ko. And then put to some extent ebi ohara arranged marriage. Now arranged marriage it is preferred by people who count on the wisdom of their parents or the elderly to help them to arrive at the conclusion as to who to marry. Having said all these things, me can say, dating is not an end in itself. Dating sometimes, most times, lead to marriage. Inti me per se, share dating, no enyoma ebi. Dating it takes place between two unmarried people. Nipa mienu a womo enware ye. Ena wonum edeti. Se obi ye warefo na o deti oba bia Christo som ye mpeneso. Eno ye mpanachi. Oni kuno rindi no kware. Orindi no kware. And therefore, dating, as we understand, in its sound sense, takes place between two persons. Two persons. Now, oftentimes, dating is usually centered on some social event. And you might feed into dating, any social events like sports, like going to cinema, like music, car concert, restaurant, dinner, sorry. When you know a former dating, it means a manifest. Bibia etesa. Sometimes nipa benu a one person womo e worry beginning with dating no. What mean we say womutumi twambe bi ma womo say bia in a week. E person bia you share once in a week or once in a day or once in a month bibia etesa. A very, very important. So with me, said the bear with me bere now met me the steady or more ye towards a given goal via a sea woman so. And sometimes in dating ben no quite to me share baby announce within the youth fellowship. When they will be a woman they will both attend the youth, blah 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 blah. Very important. Nina na what they said the nipano nisubi isifa etie enkakra. Now, mama yentias say dating ewa hwenu and your commitments. So be dating ubia. It does not necessarily, dating does not necessarily mean the same. Chinano, SSA, ewose, fantinisi or wode, yaware. SSA atiasisa. A very, very important. Dating does not mean commitment. it does not mean commitment. You be do courtship, maybe you become as more. But for now, I say, most as Christians in a holy fashion, a very, very, very important. Now, in the course of dating, some people in the course of dating, they end up falling in love. I feel was an idea, maybe good baby, as a sabbath, a yeko cotton, so, the dynamics. You do say a shot, you bet me, I can't asam. But for now, I'm talking about dating. Dating, you said the make good so I make canon. If you could do baby, the two no may now take a decision. So I think, we think, having known ourselves in terms of character, in terms of taste, in terms of this and that, we may want to consider, getting married. It may ebanisa. Now, around the world, many youth have learned to date through the social media, even through books, through it belongs to your world, more than my world, the social media world. They can count magazines, not in the books they count. But Hano Mecca say it calls for attention. Extra attention. One would date television show says social media out there, see. Emia ni patu ni me baby biara de account me pa and me member me pamocho. Be extra careful, because sometimes in fonina when you begin to see the person in reality now, you may end up being a disappointed person. Social media so dating a very, very advisable semoye careful ewo hono bibia etesa. Now minka bio enka say dating, let me put it this way, the concern is that often the youth date with little or no input from adults or people who are more mature. Sometimes, immaturity. So when you're mature, we are adolescents with the 13s and the 14s and the 15s and the 16s. Now the other dating. And I know immaturity, actually, it better not makwadich. And if you have the mind to say you are dating somebody, now eventually, ultimately, I will be a PM. And the method to say, and prepare too early in your immature state. So we engage you in dating, because I don't know, immaturity may get the worst part of you. And some more tia mamia ebemede edi chere say dating no e wonia enche bi American se bi aka ho e wonia bi e bata ho a sa wan to obo ase anhya wo ho so e ma berepe bi amfa ne ho amba ansa na anhwini ya wo be kodich because wo be kodich ya ye me petwe ne sinsa anhwini ya na ne ensese esi na akọ ekosi. A very, very important. Say to me, a channel and so sad. Now, me per se, ye share BB answer about the advantages and disadvantages of dating. Let me begin with the advantages. The advantages is say dating helps the man and the woman to know and understand each other better. If you say, "Bia, you call cinema together, bia you call sorry together, bia you call football park be together, blah 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 blah." Na dini na no. It me eboa, ema utimi hu se de nipa no ni su bi etie, ni strength bi etie, ni weakness bi etie. Ni nyina no bia steady ni yonko ansana. Ade offense proposal aba. A very, very important. Mamon pepe mo ho in dating no and commit mo ho and shishabo and no sentiment amba e wonia etimi edi echiri eba disappointment any broken heart etimi ediba. Instead of miguswa mekano, it helps the two of you to learn to enjoy one another's company, reading books together, sharing stories together, looking at films together, everything together, blah, blah, blah. A very, very, very important advantages in EB and no. Afe MC Medical account, so mutumi maintaining in a healthy fashion. It me at the joy be. It me it can even be at the funny be crampo. It me ebremo. Learning, to laugh together, so many other things together. A very, very important. The disadvantage in so a war dating musa. So one handle year. It be any say. And then the can say it calls for maturity when you want to date now. Calls for maturity because immaturity, marriage na sexual immorality. Sometimes out of ignorance. Teenagers now out of ignorance. And for all you know, a 12-year-old girl bit me 13 bit me 14 bit me 15 bit me and on and on and on. And this immaturity. A bemwa anshenia. Na wundu baby. So now obecha parents nana when they are not ready to expect a grandchild. Very, very important. Another disadvantage in dating say sometimes one year now you lose your focus. Now do you focus see urban beauty. Bemano so handsomeness, any body structure, need the account because who ban because of the dating privilege in what me ban nipano anshenia. Now continue and say echo so baby mo and so bet me Eddie or how be it me abba. Dating was some and a yekin. Medical said dating is very good, but at the same time, it goes with caution. One year, a bit me, ama, when I'm some it me edin home, ajimu. Medical, I can't overstress sa point. Emsakramaka, afamono, with me, ate ase. Now, dating needs some guidance. It needs some guidance. So sometimes it pays. Say, munim say eventually, I'm sharing ye mo pese adien ko wie aware da chinti. It pays. Some of my parents. It me ehunu say, Madam Funio, would they Bema Eddie Obano the parents say, Madam Funio, Obano di Bema Madam Funio, Yankasi, where they no Madam Funi. Ebanisana, if the parents are also Christians, want to meet the Christian counseling, it me at the gym, it me at the guide them, it me at the caution, maybe it is a very, very important. So parents, it me no to be in one way or the other during the dating. Yeah, you can now you're dating. A very important because in your who's more be perfect. Me wow. Say kwasa. And kwasa sabre them say echum. Me wow. You Mrs. Mati, Mrs. Me wow. Na yem worry, ya worry. Say no. It in shocks. Na de bebre it me ebemu. Into no. May I repeat, it's a dating idea. And when you accept to say it goes with caution and a sense of maturity. Maturity let me boy and to exercise good judgment as to what to do and what not to do. Now, in dating, let me begin right from Namin can't trust you say, member. So who date here? Make sure. Especially when say eventually it is going to end up in marriage. Say nipana who dating or your Christian, may you date a Christian. Date a Christian. Date a Christian. So when date a Christian, now we see oh na ho fenti oh mama tisa ni papa wasika ni mami wasika ntina me dating blah blah blah. When eventually the thing lands in a marriage, you'll be in for a disappointment. And therefore, may you not date an unbeliever. Where the if you are dating anybody with a mind, they say eventually it will generate into marriage. Please, 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 may you not date an unbeliever. May you not date an unbeliever. That is when you yourself know where determines that you want to remain a Christian. Equity. Let me stress and stress again. Do not date an unbeliever. Date only believers. You share a common faith. You share a common faith. Afei, as I said, mutimi agree. Maybe I'm during the dating. You must agree on certain things, certain do's and don'ts. Establish it. Regarding the kind of activities you want to involve yourselves in, regarding the times of your meeting, regarding the places of your meeting. You have not committed yourself. One can't say, and sana at the appropriate time. So proposal be the and sana at the appropriate time. So response be some I am my pencil, your kind of my pencil. A very, very important. Say more rush to commit yourselves. Do not rush. Say more committee. Mr. Ninti yantuaso na minka se. Nisandi se mushia se bia mweshe baby se bia mudi nkomo bibi ete sana. Monsha time ni ye. Time like maybe I do 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m. When you are for you are only in dating, you're dangerous. You're dangerous. Mushia na sebia waka conversate, sebema no conversate obano, so obano conversate bema no, ewo bema ni fee obani fee. The parents have already been brought into the know of the whole thing. Now, wamuma modamba akubi say asasu say dabi mu womonkotna. Please, please, please leave the door ajar. Leave the door ajar. A-J-A-R. Ajar. Not fully closed. In dating, you have your limitations. You have your limitations. Except to say, be a moody side, say, Mobayan Qualabonisam, Mobedin Qualabonisam, me papa mouth smarteno, me mammy mouth smarteno, the Indiagro, let's have fun. Fun without limits. Fun without limits. All for you, Tete. All for you. Ebanisana, and the Moyan Qualaboni for near dating being a more dating, we jamamo for more boy jamai. More dada nyami, more dada mo. Very, very important. Midikaka said, we are considering this question of dating from the Christian point of view. And therefore, purity, sexual purity must be ensured. Must be ensured. In the course of dating, as I say, learn to respect one another. Mube dia grow, mube cracky joke, sense of humor. Na dear, but still, there must be the evidence of mutual respect. If say, upo mubak mo eshe, it's a determinant. The question of respect, and at the end of the day, I think baby, I'm new right. Now I will have to make up my mind. Say, take a decision. Say, I feel in percent. Me see our real point. So, I want to marry this lady. And now say, Oba no so be can one adwin mu de ato na adwin ti ko say be may be na no e propose mamia make say yes and as a make say no because of what I've come to learn about him. Me who so you be or you so respectful or they ready or you so hard working. Now this is steady so fin diagro blah 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 blah. Until all these things you must be looking for all these things. Dating is very important. Dating one fast one and one you gain access into the person's life from a given distance. From a given distance. And it helps you to assess. Say, and I'm on a meeting. And in Tiana, you can be say, love is blind. And you can count. Whether love will become blind to you or not, dating period, will help you to give your own definition of that statement. Love is blind. Very, very important. And let me stress once again, say, more times alone can be times of temptation, and you need to be on the watch out. Now, dating as a way of marriage is relatively recent, not very old. Ushemwa a more of a Western culture. More of a Western culture. Mejimedi says Sabria, even in this 21st century, we call Yenchi, some of our villages now, dear. Arranged marriage, arranged marriage, Bonsana Obano, ne mammy decided say, Abana, Mekomu, a Jaquisi menu, ne bay, sa, they say, Makokan was a mamma, Makokan was mamma. Announce so a jet menu, or catch a ba, yaw menu, Mekomu, Mammy Yaman, son, a baby, Aquadan, who you say, Makokan was a mamma, Makokan was a mamma. Take it or leave it to some extent, and that's so. But I think that the majority of youth of today, no, woman made this ask me about what we want, and you're best mommy, papa, papa, yeah, papa. What's he saying? I think you may not easily submit to that. And indeed, the I am when they say, especially when you are exposed to the Western culture, they were which remember hey, and they say because of the world becoming a global village in Inti, to a Western world in Nabi and getting exported back home in Africa, in Ghana, anyway. Now, dating has caused many problems to many youth. Many youth. Meaning, Sasami are making say, what for a victim pain, and I say, wouldn't me be an away will be pain. One, I enter into dating, but not from Christian perspectives, because of that. I'm not dating about a problem. Much as say a good no, about a problem. They say because of dating, take it or leave it. Many girls, many unmarried girls, are no longer virgins. Experimentations left and right. Many have even become veterans in abortion. Veterans in abortion. Abortion A, abortion B, abortion C, abortion D. All because of dating. Attributable to dating. And when dating is done in an unhealthy atmosphere, devoid of Christian perspectives, they're banning. Ninsen you grow and a bemu. And then make us say, much as say a year good. As Christians, we need to be extra careful. These days, youngsters be briaba. Mrentie womu sro adie, e ma esro adie. Meme womu sro. Sani pay bemuno. Minya na wari anka mepe, but how is it? It is a metoso no masai wana kwemu. Inti huni sro aba mrente bebremu. aba mmaba wa bebree nyaware a wombe ware nanso so no because of the unfaithfulness and how things so psychologically no say yentimi manage and dating ye even when we have landed in marriage, it haunts us in what sense? Ebra me dating na men worry now so mitimi na ye no me bebree. Even when the marriage has taken place in Mpona, the question of trust, what means say, becomes questionable. The question of trust, because men worry no, na mitimi na ye biribi. They said me too kind, me kwa trap, me kwa ha. Yeah, how I found her cheap. No? Don't I think it's a many uncle bear maybe you bet me I find it cheap. And therefore it begins to haunt the marriage. Nisan intino memba ewo Christo Yesu. Misremo, I'm speaking as a pastor. Say in dating, mo worry. In dating, you are not yet married, and therefore may you not venture to do what married men and women are supposed to do in marriage. So why handle dating? The question of trust becomes compromised. It becomes compromised. If you say dating time, you're faithful, and therefore what proves is that even in marriage, you remain faithful to one another. To me, member. And I am focusing on the question of dating. I will also say, into the area of courtship and the area of proper marriage. And I'm saying premarital intino. Me pesa me shame also. Let me remain the level of dating. At the appropriate time, moment opportunities we may want to consider the question of the second step, which is courtship. A very, very important. Now, said the midi kind. Some youth groups in some churches no longer encourage dating because of the many dangers that medi kind. They will not simply allow the question of dating because people tend to abuse the beauty of dating. I sure say I will not belabor at this point any longer. Na questions between a flow. Now, churches are one discouraging the question of dating because of the dangers involved. You know what they do, say they encourage group activities. Oh, and that is a youth phone you could share brigade phone you could share and sometimes within the group dynamics, and also so no, yeah, it's maybe to me day dear, it may boa and my youth for Nankasa, it me emusani pay, Yamia Madonas and me do my warrior and Friswa, Sani pay and Mepesibia, me worry no, and so it me ebwa. A female said the Medeba Irino na menka say in dating we need to be very, very, very careful about the question of the language. Now, yeah, woman, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Oftentimes, Senipane I love you. Seriously speaking, he or she actually means I lust after you. There are two kinds of love. As Christians in the Bible, you have two types of love. Bakon a fleshly or carnal love, and a bakon and so a biblical love. Na carnal love, sometimes it me then where the dating mono, a highly emotional and conditional. Ye obana no face, ye shani tip me be, ye shani cheeks, ye nyame shed out boni pe bio, ye mommy anke we warfare, ye, I love you. From this definition here, make a kai, which means a love, a last. The sound, this type of love, it started suddenly and it ends suddenly. This type of love, any ahoshaswo, or person force ni way, is so emotional, a share outward sense, and or they pronounce say, I love you. And oftentimes, I can't you for say, so maybe no, can't you say I love you? Then say, can you define what you mean by love? Can you define? You have proposed the word love to me. Can you give me an explanation? Sometimes, almost as a Christian lady, Emma explain. Now, where your conclusion is say, a last na okan wasam, a yakono in okan wasam, and what misuse the word last, not the love. Akushimono. And what me will say, biblical love, a lover, it learns to wait. Abena mayensha ya muso at the appropriate time. The sky can be our limits. Biblical love on pen huntam and say obiba nedachi. Nemono o give space. Men say we are both in school. And as a mimpo me ye juma, but men say we go school. I will give you time for you to be able to complete your course. And then at the appropriate time, you bet to me etu anamana. A day I come so say yetu bibia etesa. And inti me demano besi hase na makase. Real love. I started dating is one that is determined by decision and not by emotion. Amen.
Amen.
Questions. Maybe to me aboa and then the son of the kind let me show me once a me to the question of dating. Mean what the next level no. Timanuesi. Amen.
Amen. Papa yedase ebepem sabrino. Said Papa can and I said the Jumadi city no you another 20 minutes. Now ye a bista questions and answers for neck or China Yamea Doma same time that is 7 copim 8:30 no yebetwaso. Intino Aquenia when he say so per se bista question and obey me bomodi I say obe raise up then host no ama na wabisa and a question any pesre ye precise ye no short so sebe ya papa benya bre actually into me being a host maybe mean so mean far akwanya we na mean bisa me question na papa I na so prepare now so bisa ode papa nti na me question is say dating said I can me a young man and I'm a young lady meet my dating more than one person at a time. Now how long and I meet my dating I'm a mathematically me final decision. Passion my question.
If you be an answer one at a time. Into way so and I say menkana minji binkan.
Actually say when you was say obi foforo be say biaka ho fine and say obi anso nyam by the and I say beje answer from me.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's a very good question the way raising. In fact, I say dating does not mean marriage. Ushemwa as I feel would you want to do any? To answer the first part of your question, obi bet mini kojo epie ye call Burger King or something, and you don't to be any kind of say.
A Burger King.
Burger King, the account.
McDonald's. KFC no money ade.
The account. Obi betimi akasa me ne yaw e ko ha ene. Wakasa me ne kofi e ko ha ene. Eye dating. Eye dating. The disadvantage a war dating more in this respect, and say sometimes it's me Emma it crazy jealousy. But the fact of the matter is say Bibi and see mo kwan say meni kwadwo akwaha na meni kwame nso so akwaha. After all kwadwo proposing kyerɛ me ma me can say yes and I say no, and I ya nso so proposing kyerɛ into no if it is something can say it is not a question of commitment. One committee because that answer the first, the first part. And for how long, and so for how long, you can say because eventually it will end in courtship. It will end in courtship. Understanding and so say you too long, and so you too longer, and it brings about broken hearts. Broken heart. Many parents say, "Kwadwe, me pia me ni upi." Date. Many okwa shesene, many okwa yesa. And into a massa relationship emu too much, especially when you know say bia won't take a decision say bia we be propose and now say we can say yes or no when the person has proposed. This is I think say about 6 months to be crampo and I'm say worry. But then as we use one kasa what do we call it? Your own sense of judgment. Send a beya ubet me a guide against giving the person broken heart. When your member no affeminine, or member no affeminine, wouldn't him say, Titu no, ya that's our problem ya, ubisai, a touch of member no affem. So when him saw banner winning in a date, a woman mentality say that chibi upa say end in a marriage. And my moon chimebri bring about a proposal. Or banner so Sabaman the proposal back. It is not by force on the spot. Was it yes or no? It's not a ma eta canno. Mamimbreka canamin wong pie. Mamimbreka cranamin green be a tessa. Also, the pin a chica crack. Now, also pin with chia. And also, and yet too prolonged. And said, yes, and I said no. Say, a year too prolonged. Now, I fear you, but can say no. Depend upon a period na nipa no propose chire wono any period na afa no answer ba answer no ba say no anhwe ni ya na we break be ma no so ne heart menim say me you anu a
me pacho ai me da say pacho ntende e ba koso yima I ready wa man nsa so pacho kwanya da ho obetimi ebisa question yima me
Yo, da ene anyumre yenso yeda wasi wo nsempa odi amaye anyumre. Na my question is as a good Christian, no, say ye date should it go with sex or without?
me pa cho obi betimi ayi na no em se me bi le ba sa point na pa obi betimi a kire mu obi osusu so te ase obi betimi ayi ima ano sa question a very very important question.
pacho dosia ana dosia
me pacho na that I can say dating no say ye masses ko bem dia na ye dwaman na ebo because ye de toto ye Christian life ho and as a Christian so no si en worry ye ni kwan say ye ma says anase we eba ebia nipa ye ni nitu anamo enti say oye sadia no we free Christian life no ho na che say ye dwaman e na wo bo o last e na wo di akire.
Wonder, you must say mammy bano, must say mammy bano, even I idea pa intima when you answer no.
Da manya da.
That's right.
Exactly.
Great.
Tipacho obi a wire crowd so be bisa question no akwanya da ho Mariam and Mariam.
Me pacho me dia no see short. I say kakra bi no reflected the brother you might ebisai no. I'm say kissing partners me pese me because me ho say nkrofo bebre na omo date baby omo have sex but omo kissy. Enti eno nso no commitment and I say omo betimi ayesa anyema no.
The question of kissing. Kissing what kind of? Yo, in the light of said the cano, make say there are limits. There are limits. Once you enter into marriage, you know, the limits in an article. In marriage proper, no, all limits are gone. But in dating and courtship, certain limits must be observed. And it say kissing, nipa yedio. Nipa yedio. Yo, nipa yedia. Kissing, no. Which means say, once not last one, now sorry, the offense of the flesh. May feel not to say, I feel when you be almost no. Aha, I feel not the best yes. And into no, I will not advise. I will not advise, say, sa bacho no. Come to me, so I think you can do that. Me who say an abrofo no eyebi na mom no obi an na eyi me ma green light na obi kokotim so for say na yetimi kiss I will say no, keep your distance, keep that distance show no so. Amen.
Me
ba me na no ana
That me pacha me that's
papa yo.
Obi no what reason about it to me name phone sa no one name na itu. Obi a ugidi so
Me pacho iPhone di Stella.
Okay.
Oui.
One.
Pacho, that good evening pa. Na yada say wo introduce that me because it's very useful in this time of our life. Now that maybe some question be there. During the period of dating there you pay na day. Is it compulsory there being another besia ever spend one uncle no? Is it compulsory there? Diska ye day, mumos kama ye day, mumos kama ye day. Is it compulsory there financially or there spend one pokunoha? That is my question.
I think that's also a good question. Say nipa ni yesu my friend na in fact dating as no obi a teenager in Naza, I will not encourage because immaturity, you're very strong at that level. You do not have the required sense of judgment. And you know, say you shall sit there or spend. I think I will not encourage that. I will not encourage that. Say you juma or juma okay. And music also in dating is good. You allow your parents to get to know, but let your parents know that you have not committed yourself to a yes or no or whatever. I feel more eventually end up in marriage. Let the parents know. Let the parents know. Sometimes as Christians, class leader and as a church elder be crying on Sashi. You bring in these persons, the kind of purity and sanity and health. Our relationship, and therefore, may you not encourage unto imam. It will be a very bad beginning. It on the crampon bottom what this color because eventually it won't be on your argument of the proposed yes. you would, under normal circumstances, want to say no. But then you also consider that you want spend the woman. Obi I want spend the woman dam. No about home. But no, you are entering into marriage, and marriage means mileage. Marriage means mileage. And don't encourage the person to be spending on you during dating. Don't encourage that. You maintain your sense of independence. You maintain who you are. You maintain your integrity. Because all spending, it can discolor, very good intentions. I think one should not encourage during dating the all spend what is money easy, that kind of thing. That kind of thing. They say if the means is there, you can. Oh, yeah, what's a Christian film be or what's a sports be or that kind of spending they be with your gate fee now. Okay, that's okay. There's nothing wrong about that. But the be or spend it today, assist you say that you power I think it's dangerous. Stella, I mean,
that was some new yard pa, no pa. O Sunday, Odru baby, no, I can them Muhakum, you know what community, no, will push you, BB and Pede.
Exactly.
So I wanted to ask that question so that you would answer it for all of us. I mean, exactly. Spending, no, it is not advisable because
exactly
it pushes you to do something you are not ready to do.
Exactly. It is not marriage. It's dating. You can change your mind at any time. It is dating. Okay.
God bless you, sister. Maybe say me obinsa ye Evans, right? Because I say A B side to us Evans. Okay. Evans, are you ready?
Yeah, man. My question is may then me who after dating, may then me who say no you're right person. I mean, uno be PA, one be ko baby and obey nice to you. Obesre, one be kasa, one be din komo obi hu no sorry any bibia. But may then me who say nipa way na you're right for me because when you are any we na say be who say hey, get away on your right for me. I want to mean Janu Bio.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that is. It's a very good question. That is why dating, in the course of dating, you study one another. Yamko sa restaurant, yamko sa film, no, you are studying one another. And then you realize that you have to ask yourself whether the person shares certain values with you. Very, very important. Whether she shares my values, I share her values. There are so many things at the end of the day. While they will say, yes, I think you will not come across perfection. Take away perfection out of the list because no one is perfect. Even if you bring two perfect angels from the heaven above, you bring them here. Mose, Monwarepi, you will see imperfections. And I think you're not referring to the question of perfection.
No, I'm not.
I think you are not referring to perfection. But yeah, that's right. But certain interests, certain values, and Christian values. When I say Christian values are, love for things of God. It is saying, I'm a Christian, a prayer life. It is saying, do I find a person faithful? Do I find a person respectful? Do I find a person hardworking? You look at all these values, you bring them together and sign a proposal. Because mind you, proposal is not automatic. What can you propose here? On also give me some time. Let me also pray about it. And sign also the other say, haven't considered blah 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 blah. Yes or no. Baby.
Yeah, Matthias,
God bless you.
God bless you.
Fine.
Actually, here were two questions now. yeah, the section we na by we na nyame ya doma ochina ya to aso. 2 questions now. I think them the back up ma those here or no we are then another person betting me a bisa question.
Me pacho me a.
But okay, I.
Okay. Me di ne Portia.
Sa okay, any
Pacho.
C I okay, Portia, okay.
Okay. And I'm pacho dada me so question me pese me busa ni se bia time ben na uhu obi a wo se odi ni kofie ema wo parents hu se bia wadamfo ni ebia emra uhia nipa na anase bia wo se wo hwe ne kakra because ebia odi nipa ne be kofie ama wawofu ehu but ebia by then no na afi na obeyi ni suban bia di ni noma bia di na ebia hu se untimi ne ntena ebia ni suban bi nyo wo fe na ebia woni na gya ya damfofa make say bia na wakohia obi foforo enam say bia opese wa wofo hu nipa ni nti na ode ono nso aba nti ekoye sa na etoato so ebe ti say bia o no ebia o parents kwa be hia say somebody is na ode na ebia we ye wadamfo ochina woni we nti brabey na wo say me hu nipa no duru ansa na me de na befie anase me hu na me de na befie.
Yeah, Portia, yeah, it's a good question. What's your question? You're good. Yes, Medical can say dating does not necessarily mean commitment, my committee. Parents element na wudi bemuno. Senior beya obi that somebody will not misrepresent you to your parents. That somebody will not misrepresent you to your parents. And therefore, you let your parents become aware, say, Mama, Papa, Sani pay a dating, is the dating and explain the word dating to your parents. Say, me committing. I say, menene we used to menene, which means you need edgy. Ye one part say, we are the tones of Pebusua. Dachi ebetumi aba ne se bia aware into the papa sa me de na kire wa mama me de na kire wa ene nkire se me ne wo bibi yese or ye me nipa se aware bibia but se ne be ya somebody will not miss entina me can say usofo mpo ana se asori penini mpo wo mani hu a so that somebody will not misrepresent because obi betumi akọ misrepresent you say akwa report you say bia nipa say but sofo ni nim wo parent nim bibia te sana not just woman nim ne ekọ so say you are up to something and eventually wo ba be ka say papa nipa bi na me ne be che no am say papa am say me ka say enya say me sa o na mom no papa me hu say bia suban bi sa ntino enya de a wo papa wo enforce so ade a we ko hu say enye no for oti ekwehye mu. It's only nice you are only being transparent. Telling your parents is a way of being transparent to them. Say, who you be a wonante basa. But that's right.
Okay, but back to us so Edina, so a question I ready a bit maybe sir.
Pacho michiao bibiara, daddy mpacho michiao.
Amen.
Me pacho me question na me pese me busan is it compulsory to date someone that is in the same city or in the same place that you are? And I say, because when I hear youth for we or we know, say, probably you can come across someone on Facebook or on social media and the platform will be open, say, like you guys like yourselves and you would like to date or something like that. But is it a risky thing or is it compulsory? Say by force, what's a date you'll be at, or what the same environment that we find ourselves?
No, there are no hard and fast rules. I'm saying social media, me can want some say more youngsters are more abano. The social media world is your world. But I don't know the caution between say social media. I'm saying to me the faking you might be one can hear Jeremy, no move to Yaka. And answer
but try
it me the faking you might be it me the fake and you might be brave social media no your doom fool or kung fu And you don't for kumfu or ya dear, yes, say dear. Social media. And there is no hard and fast rule say chinchinia somebody within your immediate environment and there's no hard and fast. It could be from the west, from the east, from the south, from the north, from wherever. But the word is attention, caution. But you know,
Daddy.
Yentimin fa yentimin bandiam, be free. But then my winning so end down. And this I'm showing you dating for 1 night. We bet me to be about they sure say for 1 night if you dating.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
Amen.
I'm saying last question. Sad name winning mama appear me had those here, but maybe a portion now.
Patron, my question, no, Obi ebisa question about dating. Man remunten because I was in the car and me and I say me baby away. Me to me no dating no a oba ne be mamushia. Oh, we like each other. Ye pese ye den. Ye pie na ye hu ye bon komo na ye hu say this thing could it work or and I say any juma. So, into me to what my knowledge minimum say dating then can you say oh ye pay back, ye pay me, no ye pay me and son, share beman ne casam or ban ne casaman as a bibi ya, deal with your mania day, mean to also. However, so who date here I saw my mammy and I saw my papa when your ben will be film oh my da. Bema way, my starting in the AP, but I wouldn't encourage any youth, let's say, a bit dating for a very long time because dating so much, for a very long period of time, it ends up in so many things. Idea I'm stressing on is the courtship because when you are courting, it's gearing towards marriage. Inti Reverend any say in Calbert I say dating no ya be pie ye pia kwa kodidi communication getting to know each other well because they say youth no I say they are confused about the word dating and the word courtship and couple people use dating more than courtship but to me no I say you want to win the woman say obe warren you want to propose to the woman that's why you are courting her to end up in marriage. But dating for a very short while into Reverend when Calbert me enlighten and say, oh, dating is say courtship ni say yanka be because it's uncle for date ya oh me person me date adia no me kona anko yi a be ma ne person oti ho ka say oh me de we pay akwa kodidi ma bo ho ka sanya ma we nyina na ye ha dwenti then Obeka found with dating and courtship.
Yeah, me pacho ube munche won uba la new sinche.
Yeah, me see big akra me buy enche.
Because your question sounds like that. Because issues are who can you know me fan say more of contribution because MC are covering na makani na hasam.
Me tell na make I say me see because na me work. Notification na check.
But the Ukraine also. Who are the Ukraine so?
Me were UK.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. And nya wokan na no pepepe. Dia bibia ne wan ma wokan ya me dispute. If you say nya wokan na is exactly what I have said.
Okay.
It's exactly what I have said. What you say? Me fan say a more of contribution to nya yakano. A more of contribution. Me can say ne nya yakan ye more on dating. You are the chain or china ya ba na ya call into courtship. Bibi etasa. Ndi o china na me mpa e say nya me be ya wa do na wetimi ajoin ntam. Why?
Yeah. I say it's the last question, but me hand be out to me say persistently no I raise the anti mess when I am on opportunity last now for the yeah the scene there Yami Adam, China, Bomodia said, oh, you be a bayan in Temnoa by 7 p.m. In terms of more you can obey 6 p.m. Na what Bomadia Bantem, Nafi Yetimi, Ako second pattern near Tima finish. Into Rebecca Ajimai. Same Baya and Senka Babuami. Rebecca Ajimai.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Patricia, good evening.
Good
Daddy, thank you
evening.
so much for giving us this opportunity to highlight stuff for us. But my question was like, you mentioned that during dating, it's good to parents and even like support and I say, omunima is really good. But my question is, during that period, is it advisable to do a background check from the person?
Oh, yes.
When you in a relationship, then if you in the same country and the same environment, is it good to do a background check whilst that your pastor or your parents knows about him?
Yes. Thank you very much, Rebecca. Yes, when you are a part of the dating, because dating is a period of mutual learning, getting to know each other, to help you come to a decision. In dating, and Ankasa, won't decide here. It's more of learning. Background checking a part and parcel of the dating. Because mooding common idea, wouldn't need in common, and then you'll be saying, no, but on a free in flowers and to parents or home. It's a hint for watching a pain. What are some of your interests in life? All these things in a better are you getting a point?
Yes.
And what me we say answers are and only for you to discover later. Say contradictions now there. Right from the word go no. And I would say yes. I'm entering into the life of a liar.
Yes.
And you will have to advise yourself. And in the proposal and about you know the kind of answer with the bemano. But you
bless you, Daddy.
During the dating, in fact, nyame one year courtship, which means say, and you may course with dating, a mood do ET even into the courtship period. Because marriage in Yadia, as I said, we find a light, we find a trust, because say marriage and it can spell disaster for your life, physical life, emotional life, mental life, a deben life. That is marriage for you. That is marriage for you. And and fan yeah, in a ferry or something. Yes, what mean for our life in future? Bibi a very, very important subject now. Remember, may raise the discuss. Rebecca, thank you for your question and the Americans what you say. Amen. God bless you. Fine.
Amen. Youth. Yinina say the American say ye nyina be ya adwen ba o mahu senka ebi mo pese o mu bista question but mesre ni dem yen time no ye pese ye de ye adwuma kama se be ya nyame ya adom na ye toa so a e be ye encouraging na obi a atima ye a join e na papa oni ye wie ye ya osane ye teacher mu nka ne se ye papa mo enso wo another section ba ye nyina ka ho de but I'm saying you really already as a kakra say and joining them crana or be permitted and name papa dear. I will say yena ultimate any almost so at so and as almost started they also almost started in the sense ye debesi wa the mestre papa said oh bibi be kakra last one na fe or a kind of edda home house so bit to me a jaya home na fe yeah
Michelle baby member mo abasu bio it was topic be a more discuss here. Very, 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 very important, very, very important. Then I am with me can be betrayed, said my for me, come out for me, penning for our for now, dear Titu, our butcher memu. Say, I want to be brain, tear poor, I want to be brain for our butcher memu. Na some of them, did not have the opportunity. And we discuss issues of this nature. And this necessary inquiries. Na said the Benya me adumna se mutumi tu anamon bia ayi nshira ayi no nyame ahye ama Ewurade. Nti Ewurade nshira mo Ewurade the China ochena nso yebeto aso. Amen.
Amen. Papa ne me so megina youth ni nyina na na maka yeso aka se nyame nhyira pa se woma oho kwan na onde yen ache nsem bia ti se. Nti Nyankopɔn ɛyɛ adom ochena nso yebesɛ hia na afi